Hey, what's up, world? This is Hassan. I'm here with the Struggling Day Trader channel to go over my trades today. All right, so yesterday I ended the day really excited because I felt like I had a breakthrough. Um, so I've been trading on the 1 minute chart for about 2 years, and I've had some really good days. I've had some good weeks, but I've also had so many days where I just get chopped up, stopped out, and then the stock goes and does what I felt like it was gonna do. Hits my target, all of that without me. Um, or even sometimes I'll get back in and I'll still go and catch a good trade on it, but I got stopped out like 3 times before I took the trade. And my guy Hadi, my first subscriber, shout out Hadi, he came in and he was like, "Bro, that 1 minute chart is a liar. Like, you really got to get off of that 1 minute chart." And so I started trading on the 5 minute, and the 5 minute was cool. It was a lot less calm, but the signals, though they were fewer, which is safer, by the time a setup would trigger after waiting 5 minutes for the candle to close, it would be so far away from VWAP that I would have to reduce my share size in order to put my stop under VWAP, and that would also really increase the target that I would want to hit in order to get, at least 2 to 1. And that made targets a lot harder to hit because they were further away. Um, and then I just had a mind yesterday to switch to the 2 minute. And like immediately I could see the setups. I was like, wow, like this would be easy to trade. And so I traded. I was already in the hole at this point. I traded out of the hole yesterday, had some really nice trades trading on the 2 minutes. So I was really excited this morning, to see if I could, really trade well on the 2 minute chart. And yeah, I've had the best day today since I started streaming for you guys. So, coin was the first one I was in. Um, I would say I didn't do my timer to this morning. I usually set a timer at the open for at least 10 minutes before I'm allowed to actually take a trade, just because I know the first 10 minutes, sometimes first 15 minutes are really choppy and it's a lot of back and forth. And I'm more looking for a long-term hold, something I can ride for at least a couple dollars. So, getting in the open is really good for scalping really quick, but I still get chopped up a lot. So I think definitely tomorrow I'm gonna do the 10 minute thing. But this was an okay entry. I mean, a tap to VWAP and previous day close, and the 1 minute, or I guess 2 minute high right here. But it spiked up super fast after I got in, so fast that I slipped like 80 cents on the entry, and then it just bounced right back, and I got stopped out over here. Then I jumped back in with way too much size, and I had to put a super tight stop on it because I wasn't willing to risk, down to the bottom of this candle. So I stopped out on that almost immediately. Now I'm down 2R. And I'm glad I did, because if I would have let that ride all the way down here, I could have lost $100 or more on this stock. So you got to know when to get out, man, and just take that L as soon as you can. But then, let me put my ring there. Okay, so this pattern right here, this is the tweezer pattern, they call it in the candlestick Bible. But basically, the second candle completely engulfs the first candle, and it happened right over VWAP. So I went ahead and took a nice little position there at 258.64 and was able to sell at 263.92. So a little over a $5 move. That was great. Put me in a real nice position with coin, recouped my losses, and I think I was sitting around $69. Now, later, came back down to VWAP, and man, this is my play. It's down to VWAP, got a hammer bar, and it's at the a really high volume top over here from the open, and threw a couple hammer bars. So that's all good for me. So I put in an order at 262.38 and ride it up to 264.27. another $2 plus win. So finished the day on coin at 124.34. And that's including 2R loss to start the day. So really good trading on coin. All right, Baidu. Actually, hold on. Let me take my notes on coin. So coin first entry chop up in the open. Wait 10 minutes tomorrow. Second, well, I guess that would technically be my third entry, but yeah, I guess we need to note it. Second entry, oversized, stopped. Take time to size properly or let the trade go. And I would have got stopped out on that one anyway. All right, third entry, good job. Missed like $5, $3 on the profit. But that's cool. Fourth entry. Perfect. All right. So next, let's check out Baidu. Baidu. I knew this was not a good entry, right? It's extended from VWAP. What I'm expecting when I get in here is for it to just go parabolic, but that's unreasonable, right? It's already went parabolic, right? It already went from 107.81 to 109.86. It's a $2 move, right? It needs to cool off. So I get in, get excited when it pops up there, and then quickly stop out. But that stop out candle, as usual, is a great trigger candle, but it doesn't trigger for another few minutes. And I get in here, put my stop under that candle, which is 109.54, and it goes all the way up to 111. And I just sat there and looked at it, and then it came down and went up to 111.01, and I sat there and looked at it again. Came down here, I added prematurely. Definitely got to wait for VWAP for the ad. It's like basically you taking a trade all over again on the ad. So if it tests VWAP on a higher low, go ahead and add. Otherwise, you should chill. Especially after the run up, you know, like if you catch it on that first higher low after you know you got a good entry off VWAP, cool. But after, you know, all these lower highs and you know it's falling down to VWAP, you got to wait for VWAP. I'm glad I didn't take this entry. I don't know if I was even looking at it at this point, but I don't know. It would have been better than buying there, I guess. But I ended up stopping out break even on Baidu. So after my first loss was actually, I don't know, maybe I wasn't break even. I'm pretty sure I raised my stop to break even. I think I just lost a little more on this first one. So a little more than 2R. I mean, a little more than 1R loss on Baidu, but manageable. You know, at least it's manageable. That those are gonna happen. But it was a winning trade. It was a winning idea. I just didn't take profit. It's really hard to like balance the desire for the home run and the need to capture your profits. You know, yeah, I don't know. That's the battle every day. Is basically taking profit or letting it ride. And I got a really cool example of that coming up. Anyway, but Baba. Oh yeah, let me take my notes on Baidu. So Baidu, first entry, extended from VWAP. Rule break. Second entry, golden. Did not take profit. Stop break even. So, you know, not terrible. All right, Baba. This is kind of a repeating situation for me. I see where the opening candles go crazy, pull back to VWAP, but it was such a sharp move that for hours it just chops up and down for the rest of the day. So this was a cool. I'm not mad at this entry except for the fact that it went up so high, like straight up. You want it to be more pretty. You want a nice wave and then a nice pullback. This is too sharp. But anyway, it's hard to pass up a hammer bar at VWAP. So I jumped in. Then I tried to add. I actually could have taken profit here, near the high of day, and it would have been decent. I think it would have been at least 2R. 76.95 to 77.41. I don't know if I would have taken that out. But yeah, so this was just a wash trade. Negative 50 cents on this one. What do I say? Wait for better looking entry opportunity. Yeah, it was just kind of ugly. But if I would have added right, let's see. Add only add higher low to VWAP. Maybe. Maybe. I think the adding is a little more predictable later on in the day, but excuse me. Yeah. So anyway, wash trade. All right, Netflix. We're almost to the fun. So Netflix, the reason I wanted to trade Netflix was it was dipping down here and it looked like it was curling up. And the range on Netflix is like $10 to $15. So I just felt inclined to risk getting 10 shares at 610 in case we could go to 620, right? And which is also why I didn't sell at 614.85 and added on the way down, which, I was so low. My first entry was so low that the adding didn't really ruin anything. I was able to raise my stop with each add and maintain my risk pretty well. As you can see, once I stopped out, I was negative 30. So no big deal on that. It was just a really choppy stock. I bought it below VWAP, below the opening range. Like, broke all kind of rules on this one. But I was just hungry for that risk to reward of, possibly having a nice range on the day, which it did not. So that one didn't work out, but risk was managed pretty well. So FLX rule breaker of the day. Below VWAP and HBS worked, but did not sell. Okay, now let's check out Google. Okay, so I was patient with Google. I think I actually didn't pull it up until I was just kind of sitting on hands looking for something to trade because everything was trading down at the open. And I noticed Google popping up. And I'm happy I was patient through all of this. And I'm glad I was patient here because buying here would have been a rule break and we don't ever want to break the rules. So this ad was FOMO. Can you even call that a pullback? Like, bro, wait for VWAP. So anyway, once it hit VWAP, I added, and it came back and stopped me out at VWAP. But it was a higher low compared to this one, and a nice narrow range candle here, indecision bar. And so I bought the top. I bought the break of that bar. And it went up, and I just watched this. This was like, what's that? 150 shares from 139.89 to 140.73. Like, I had like $120 just sitting there, and I just stared at it right in the face and watched it go right back to VWAP, right? But I was patient and threw me another hammer bar candle down here, and so I added. So now I got 200. I got 200 shares, right? Man, look, all the way up to 141.07. Recouped my loss. This was a $20 run from here. I mean a $200 run from there to there, and I captured $200 on that. And so after recouping the loss, closed out the day on Google at 149.90. This was an awesome trade, but man, managing this, like not raising my stop to take off after it came up to the high of day, that was tough, man. Like I'm talking about sweat. I'm talking about anxious, man. It was very tough. Go check out the live stream. It's posted. Yeah, but it worked out great. See, it was a great place to sell. It didn't really go much higher than that. And yeah, man, killed it on Google today. So Google first entry extended from VWAP done. Added at VWAP. Stopped out. Second entry below VWAP but above HVS, and nice narrow range candle. So even though it was below VWAP, I'm still pretty bullish on it. VWAP is still trending up, and being how narrow the range on that bar was, I felt like the risk to reward was too good to not take a swing at it. And turned out to be my biggest winner of the day. So worked out very well. Bang. All right. Now, CELH. So I was feeling kind of silly about trading this one. One, where I bought in at was stupid. I should have waited for, for it to pull back and cool off a little bit and see if it was going to throw me an entry. This right here would have been the perfect entry. Perfect. Like, bruh, right there. That's a perfect candle. You buy the break of the high. And this is, man, a 14-cent candle. So you can grab 150 shares there instead of the 50 I had way up here. 150 shares there, I'm telling you. And then went all the way up to 95.39 from 94.46. On 150 shares, that's gravy. That's $100. Added in a dumb spot, way from VWAP, and what did it do? It stopped me out. I stopped out on the ad right there, and then I stopped out on the rest down here. Now, had I not added up there, my stop would have survived, and I could have added here. And then I think I might have been inclined to sell there if I didn't sell there. But, hindsight is 20/20. However, later on, after it dipped, so the catalyst for CELH is that it beat earnings yesterday. So I was really hopeful for a big move up. Anyway, I saw it break back over VWAP and come down and start throwing these narrow range bars, which for me is a great sign that the direction is about to change. So I got in nice and heavy, 150 shares, stop under VWAP, and man, it started to go. This candle right here, man, I'm telling you, I'm sweating right here, right? And then this candle comes out, like jumps my P&L on that thing. Like this move right here might have jumped me $100. So I'm sitting here sweating through all of this, right? I'm talking about stressed out, watching it, and the gap is like 10 cents on the between the bid and the ask, the spread. It's like 10 cents. So it's really moving. Right when you think it's going good, it drops 10 cents. And it's like, oh, man. And, bro, up here, I was at $200 right there. No, wait. This was... Okay, so my target was 95.96. And with 150 shares, that's like $220. What do? I took my target out and I decided I'm going to try and see if I can chase it up with the stop. So I put my stop in right here, and then this big giant red candle comes in and smashes me out. Like, no. Oh, I had 200 plus on the table, and it sold 150 of my 200 shares. And I was devastated. Actually, yeah, I had 200 shares. And so it sold 150, which put like $60 in the bank. And I was like, oh, man. And so anyway, I held on to a little bit more, and then it went way up here, and I ended up stopping down here. So it's again just walking that tight line of being aggressive about taking profit and also trying to give it room to go. You know, sometimes you make the right decision, sometimes you don't. So I definitely left a lot on the table on this one, and then I was still in my feelings. I kind of jumped back in and threw away a R at the end of the day, like. But it's cool, you know, it happens. Gotta keep your head, man. But anyway, 98.65 on CELH. Can't be mad at that, right? All right, I was also trading Apple at the end of the day, and this actually was a decent trade. I know I was up 2R, but again, I'm trying to give this thing space to really make some moves. Excuse me. And yeah, it just didn't go. The SPY actually dropped really big right at this time. And then it bought back up, and then the SPY went ridiculously low. So, yeah, I got stopped out for half of an hour. You know, no big deal. 12.50. I can live with that. All right, and NVIDIA. This was a great trade that I did not capitalize on. This one, a nice big higher low over VWAP, over this previous high right here, which is what you want to see. You want to see it building on itself. And that was also a level from back there as well. So this was a justifiable entry here, I felt. I got in and we had a nice little ride. And then I added here, and right after I added, man, that thing went crazy and I did not take profit. So what could have been $100 turned out to be $39.65. But, you know, I don't like to say what could have been, because I truly believe what is meant for you could never miss you, and what's not meant for you could never hit you. So it wasn't meant to be, but I was meant to learn from the trade. And I think I want to be, when it starts going parabolic and throwing these big bars and then narrow bars, you got to pull your stop up. Just in case. You got to take the profit, man. You got to take the profit. That feeling of not having taken the profit when it was there, it really sucks. I don't know which one's worse, that feeling or just missing it altogether. I guess missing it altogether is worse. Yeah, so good entry on NVIDIA. Just got to work on my take profits. I'm not going to take too many notes on those. And SMCI, this was just kind of a fun trade that I wanted to see. You know, I kept my risk pretty tight. I was about half share size, than what it could have been. And, you know, very small loss, $4.14. But closed the day out, $328. So this is really cool, feeling that I had a breakthrough yesterday, and today was like the first day to see what was going on. And to close out the day up $328, man, that feels great. Especially having, you know, a couple nice size red days this week. That feels good. That feels good. So, all in all, I still need to tighten up my discipline as far as not buying away from VWAP. Because so many times I buy away from VWAP and have to watch it come and test VWAP and throw me a picture perfect entry that I would have had with no worry if I'd have just been a little more patient and not FOMO'd into that thing. And I am going to do the 10-minute timer tomorrow morning to stay out of the market for the first 10 minutes, let things calm down. And I'm definitely trading on the 2-minute tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, man, today was a great trading session. I'm even more excited about tomorrow. And yeah, I think that's it, man. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe. I stream live every morning. The market is open. And I'll see you guys in the morning. Peace.